So I'm Jase. I'm 15 years old. I play first base for Coleman High School.
Here we go. Yes, sir, man. Yeah, it's good to talk to you and get your takes and opinions on the program. And you've made a ton of big
Yes, sir.
strides in what my
Uh,
opinion is not just physical. You've made a lot of mental gains in the program, which I'm super proud of you of because it's a hard thing to grasp, at your age. So I want to ask you, Jace, what were you struggling with the most before joining the program?
so some stuff I kind of struggle with. I struggle with consistency hitting. Some games I go 3 for 3 with three doubles. Some games I go over 3 with 3 strikeouts looking. So consistency was a big thing, and along with that, my mental game wasn't the best, and like the hitting, it was really never there. It was kind of hit or miss.
Sure.
That's really something I struggle with. My defense has always been really good, but it's just I felt like the hitting it just wasn't there, and it really just didn't make sense to me because I've always been a very strong person, and like it wasn't there even after I started weightlifting at Conway, and I made some really big strength gains. It just didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, definitely, man. So with that kind of being your reality there, I mean, what made you realize that you kind of needed help or maybe a different approach with your hitting?
Here, I'll write it down right here. So like really, when I realized I needed help, I think I played on a team called the Palmetto Sticks.
Mm-hmm.
It was our last tournament, and I just gotta say, I had a stinker. I think I went 0 for 5 with a couple strikeouts looking. I did have one decent barrel, but it was kind of off the hands. But I had 2 errors as well, and just I was very rattled up after the strikeouts. I think that's sort of caused the errors to happen. It's just I wasn't in a good state, and I feel like I could use some help.
Sure, definitely. So it's kind of some previous experiences where maybe you hit a point where it was like, man, I do want to kind of figure this thing out and kind of fix my approach in what I'm doing in the box, right?
I really felt that, like, I think we played travel ball we had our first tournament in May, but it really was consistent through July to November. And
Sure.
I think towards the start of August, I was thinking, I need to figure it out, man. I want to play college baseball. I know I'm good enough. It's just I need to put the pieces together.
Yeah, no doubt, bro. So we got you in here, right? We got you in here a few months ago. What were kind of your first impressions when you first joined or when you first started the program?
So when I first joined the program, I was very impressed. I saw some of the reviews you written down on like the forum you sent me. And I was like, I was like, this is my guy. I knew
Hmm.
when she sent me that text, I was like, this guy's going to help me. This is what God has intended for me, and I'm going to take this chance. And I know it would work. And like, once I started getting in my training, it was the perfect thing for me. Like, I could do it at my house. I could take my time with it. I didn't have, like, I could do it whenever I wanted, whenever I had time. It just really helped me out a bunch, even when I had, like, fall conditioning and then, like, winter conditioning for the spring.
Yeah, bro. I love that. Super cool. That's awesome how maybe the things you had available to you and equipped to you kind of perfectly kind of fit like a puzzle, right? With kind of the remote training type thing. For sure. Cool, man. So, as baseball players going through our development journey, right? We kind of have these certain set of beliefs or habits, right? That may have been holding us back in certain ways. And maybe those ways we weren't even super conscious of, right? So when you join the program, like what kind of new beliefs or new habits did you kind of have to shape for yourself to start seeing the results that you felt like you deserved?
So really, there's two sides of those habits. Really, there's the physical side and the mental side. I'm gonna start with the mental side. So really, a bunch of my teammates on a travel team, they'd always, if they struck out or did something bad, like, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna quit. I suck." I definitely had to cut that out because I did it a little bit, not too much, but I realized it was kind of affecting my mental game.
Mm-hmm.
I just had to be confident when I stepped in the box too, and I just knew all my preparation and just changing how I saw the ball instead of like being, "Oh my gosh, this guy's fast." I think start earlier and just way back.
Yeah,
As
bro.
for the physical side, I had very, it was not the best bat path.
Yeah.
I was very loose, like very long. I wasn't grounded the best, and like I could really see now, like not being grounded. That's where all my power slipped away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude. We got you using the ground a little bit, getting the steeper bat path, trying to get some
Yeah,
backspin right. Because when you first joined, I remember it was just a lot of topspin. So
ton
a ton of topspin. We were looking at those videos, and I really wanted to get to that point, but I had to make sure that the backside was correct first before we got to the bat path because they coincide a little bit. Once we got
so
you working on the bat path, bro, that topspin is like gone, which is awesome. It's
it's so nice.
yeah, dude. We're getting backspin now, getting the ball in the air. I mean, it's great. That's so great.
It's just
Yeah, dude. Was there a specific moment or maybe even a certain day of drill work or something I programmed for you that kind of flipped the switch for you in the box?
so there's been a bunch of those like little like oh my gosh like eureka moments. I think one of them was probably when I got my backside like locked down. I was like, this is really working out. And then also once I got my hands down, I was like, this is working as well. I'm happy. I think during that scrimmage, I think that's really when like fully clicked. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but like getting my backside down and my hands. That was like really when it first started to click, and then it really did click on that scrimmage. Like, I was very disciplined at the plate. I was found at least hit one pitch in every at bat. Like fouled it off, like hit an opposite field foul, hit a single. It was just a bunch of contact. It was super nice.
Sick, bro. And if, I don't know, let's say maybe we didn't work on those things, we didn't get you grounded, we didn't work on the bat path, none of the mental stuff. How do you think that would have played in the box a little bit differently?
Honestly, I went back to my old ways. I probably would have had a few more strikeouts, maybe hit the ball, but it would have been really bad, really ugly. I might not have even made the JV team because of how bad I was doing.
Mm.
Just how in my head I was. Like, I get in my head sometimes pretty bad.
Right.
Well, and baseball's a mental game, and you hear that. You hear that forever, but you can really see it more so. I mean, especially. But he's right. When they were finishing winter conditioning, you could tell that when they were scrimmaging. He kind of locked in, and it was much better. He was much more focused, and he was much more confident there. I think it was a combination of everything that you've been helping him with. Even in his everyday sessions, just practice, he's been better.
I love that. And that's it's funny, right? Because
It is funny. It's sweet.
the the baseball players are drawn very naturally to the numbers. Like it's a very number driven game. And even I can get a little guilty of like the exit velo, right? The EV, the stuff like that. What's really important though, this is what I tell my guys. It's Jase, how can we prepare you as best as possible when you step into the box in the game? If we hit 95 EV and you're not equipped, you're not ready to go, and you're not the most confident version of you in the box, we have failed. Even if we put on 35 exit velocity, right? So the fact that we were able to do that, I mean, that means the world to me. That should mean the world to you as well, Jase. Like, that's really what's going to move the needle for you in your life, right? Because like I said, we just had a group call. It kind of ties into that where we live our lives and we play baseball. Baseball is not our lives. So the fact that you can go in there, you can be confident, that's a testament to you as a person, not a baseball player. So the fact that we were able to really get into that aspect and make a big change, that's really, as a coach, all I can ask for, right? And we did make some good physical improvements too with the numbers as well. Like, let's not get that twisted. But that piece, I mean, that's monumental. So, which is perfect because I want to ask you as well, like, what kind of measurable improvements have you seen? Whether it's the EV, right, your body. I mean, what kind of measurable improvements, Jase, were we at the beginning and where we're at right now?
Still at the beginning, like kind of where we're at right now. My exit velocity, I think, has jumped up 4, but honestly, it's been very hectic the last few days with some of the events that's been going on. I think it's like even higher than what is rated. I think once I get that tested, I think we're going to see some very nice numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And I also feel like more explosive in the box. And my worries just melt away when I get there because I feel like fresh. I feel locked in. I'm like laser focused on the pitcher. Honestly, I can see the ball a lot better too. Because like I can tell if it's a curveball, to sit back, fastball, drive it in the gap. It's just I have a lot better awareness like when I'm playing.
Mm-hmm. Would you say that you feel a lot more dominant, like a lot more larger in the box? Maybe not physically, but you feel like you can really do some damage?
Yes, I feel like I can do damage like every single time. Like with a few swings I've been taking, like I can really tell. Like we had one day where the wind was blowing in and it was affecting the ball a lot. I put the barrel on a few and just like still, even with the wind, the ball pushed forward. And like when it would have been a double in the game, I was like, oh my gosh, it surprised me so much. It's just making me feel so good.
That's excellent.
I get like physically and mentally, I feel like strong in the box, like I'm ready to go and I'm just ready to get after it and prove myself.
Let's go, dude. Perfect. Perfect, man. Awesome. So good to hear that. How has this experience, right? Our online programming, how has that kind of impacted how you guys look at baseball development now? Baseball development 10 years ago was I go to a one-on-one lesson 60 minutes a week. This is vastly different, right? So how has this kind of impacted the way you guys look at the traditional, coaching and lessons scene for baseball development?
Kind of like the lesson scene. Like I feel like the lesson scene was more like immediate fixes, whereas this is kind of like over time. But instead of it being an immediate fix and it might pop up the next week, like over time the issue will gradually wear away and it has a very rare chance of coming back. And I feel like it also helps me like think better and it makes me realize the benefits of patience and strength and like coordination about the program. And it's just I'm very fortunate to have this program.
Yeah, and I think with technology the way it is, we're just very fortunate to live in a time that we can do this. 10 years ago, I mean, this would probably been on the cutting edge of it, but just with the videos he sends in and the instant feedback. I mean, it's like having a one-on-one trainer, but but doing it from the comfort of your home, in your garage, which makes it easier. And I think, we've always pushed. I mean, if you can be that 1% better, just, just spend that little bit more time, it'll show on the field. And I think your program too makes him more accountable for it, And that's, when we first started, we were talking about that accountability, with him, and he stuck to it. And I think it came with his maturity, with his age, and with your help. So we couldn't be more pleased.
Awesome. Love to hear that. I just think with the comparison to that one-on-one and that remote, like just from a touch point standpoint, like there's only so much that coach can do in a 60-minute time frame where, quite frankly, right, Pops, as good as me, these kids like to be on their phones. They love it, right? So just to be able to have that access, I wish I had that when I played, straight up, because I liked my phone too. So very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Well, and it's immediate feedback. Right. Then you know what I mean, and it's like you say, it's feedback in a way that he's used to all the time. From the phone. Because if he's not working on something or he's watching something about baseball, or either we're watching baseball on TV. So kind of goes with all of it.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. That's the way it's kind of traveling in 2026, and quite frankly, I'm here for it. I'm actually here for it. So, cool. So, what would you tell another player or a parent who's kind of on the fence about joining my program in particular, or even on the fence about remote development?
I really tell them kind of like how it's affected me and like really the shifts that I've had. Like really +4 exit velocity and probably even higher. That's something that would kind of like lure them in, and then like also like feeling better, just thinking better. It really helped it. But then also like how everything doesn't have to be like immediately done. Like you can take your time, make sure you do it right, and then there's like pretty like quick feedback in the like you can see what you're doing. It's just a lot of tools like put into one program. It's very convenient. It's very like compact and coordinated, and just I really appreciate it, and it's helped me out a lot.
Excellent.
Yeah, and I would say to a parent that's looking for or that's contemplating it, it it gives the player the ability to show their commitment to the game, and it gives them a tool that they can get instant feedback from. That's what makes the remote, so different, and it does it in a controlled environment, which is much better, and I think it's just very, very surprising to see these young men and how they attack it, and and how you run your program and everything. And how in tune you are with these young guys, which I know you're still a young guy yourself, but it's really, really neat to see these kids develop. He's got boys that he's played baseball with his entire life, and you can see him, kind of right now. I think he's 15, and it's kind of the breaking point. Some of them are starting to fall off and just get other entrants. Starting to quit. And then the ones that are really, really into it, they're ready to take it to the next level, which is what your program helps them do. Both mentally and physically.
Undoubtedly, I could not agree more that this is kind of that breaking point age. 100%. This is kind of the fork in the road type of time where, hey, are we going to start taking development super serious, or is this just not for me? Or is this something that overwhelms me as a player, right? Like, there is that decision to be made. I 100% agree and stand by that. Absolutely. But, yeah, I really appreciate those words towards my coaching style, my program, and how I was able to help Jase. That's just awesome. Like, at the end of the day, this is what I did it for. So I appreciate the trust you guys have in me and that you had in me at the beginning, taking that leap to trust, right? A guy, for lack of a better term, kind of a stranger on the internet. Like, you guys didn't really know me. Sure, Jase knew, some of my story from my Instagram and stuff like that, but that commitment, that investment, and that faith just speaks like volumes. So I just want to thank you guys again for having that trust in me. And at the end of the day, that's what, that investment that you guys made into Jase and his ability is what got the results. It really wasn't, I played my part. I gave him what he needed, but at the end of the day, that's definitely what it comes down to.
Yeah, and you did play a key role in it, because it's always better coming from a coach than coming from mom or dad. Mom and dad, are only all day to pick up his clothes, do his homework, that type of thing. And I can say, hey, do this drill, and he's like, and you can say, do this drill, and he's like, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is a good thing. It's just a new voice, somebody, and he respected you. He had kind of researched your story and kind of sold us on it, from the beginning. So, hey, we couldn't be happier with it.
Cool, guys. Well, I'll say I was the same way at 15, so don't feel, don't look at Pops any different way. I did the same exact thing. Don't worry about it. I think like 90% do that. So cool.
I get it. I get it. Boys will be boys.